Welcome back. We're us people. We're luxury pickers. If you don't watch our haven't watched our channel, if you don't watch our channel, what are you doing here? If you haven't watched our channel before,
hey,
we buy and sell luxury fashion and a bit of everything else in between, just so we can fund the luxury fashion. We've been a bit not AWOL from social media, but quieter than we normally are. If anyone knows us, we're quite
loud.
But we've been working on some stuff behind the scenes because we do have
things and stuff
going on. Anyway, and we're going to do a video about what's been going on behind the scenes and where we are in our journey, both of YouTube and reselling. But what we have been doing is going through our backlog, or our stock, if you will. We like to say stock. Some people like to say death pile, but I don't like to put a negative connotation on it. I think a death pile, if you're going to have a death pile, it should be the stuff like, you know, when we've got a box where you need to add a button or sew a hem.
Or even like a label's come out, like where you can't literally take it home, boom, and take photographs straight away. Basically,
if it's just stock that can go straight on, it's just stock you haven't done yet.
Yeah, agreed.
And it's also okay to have stock and not have stock.
Yeah, I agree.
Everyone runs different businesses. Everyone has different ways of working. Us personally, we have a hell of a lot of stuff. But I know some people work on like one in, one out basis.
I think as well, it's at this point, it's quite important to say to people, maybe if they haven't been following us from kind of day one, which I guess a lot of people would not have been, is we used to have retail stores.
Yes.
So with that obviously comes the stock from the retail stores, which for a long time, if you're processing the new kind of incoming stock and incoming sourcing kind of stuff you've been picking up,
you just got put to the back.
It was just push. And whether it be kind of from the shops, which we've had in the unit, or we actually have a separate unit for kind of, which was what we call the strictly shop stock, which was basically everything which came out of the shop went straight into storage, and we left to carry on reselling whilst we were kind of picking up steam, if you will. And we've gone back through some of that more recently.
Because we're trying to get it online, we're trying to sell it. No point not selling it. But what we thought was this: we thought this was a good opportunity to show you some brands, talk about some brands, and talk about some different labels that we might not traditionally find just sourcing from charity shops or car boot sales, but that you can find in charity shops or car boot
maybe
sales.
Maybe we haven't come across this far on our kind of YouTube or whatever else, but if you do come across in the wild, whether it's car boots, charity shops, consignment stores, however you come across, even TK Maxx, however you come across it, things we thought would be worth mentioning.
Someone commented on an Instagram post I put up recently, because for anyone who doesn't know, it's our sort of 1 year time slot since we started YouTube.
Yeah.
And someone said that they bought an address book in a charity shop, a cheap one, right? I haven't told Austin this, but like, I don't know, pennies, right?
Yeah.
And what they do is when they watch our videos, they write down the brands in alphabetical order.
So cool.
And I'm 100% going to do it.
Cool.
Next time in charity shop, I'm going to look for an address book, and I'm just going to sit down one night and write down brands.
Maybe at one point or another, maybe we'll do that, or we'll kind of go through what we know and what we don't know,
and then like price point and resale price point,
and give us a guide or something. You know,
wouldn't that be so cool?
Yeah, it would be. It would be helpful to us, because once again,
I love the address.
It sounds
book,
funny,
though.
but like, how many brands do you think, like, even like I said, even recently gone through the stock from the stores? Honestly, like, I haven't forgot the brands. I wouldn't like walk past in a charity shop.
But you're like, I haven't found that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's things which I haven't found, and maybe not so much like I say forgotten, but things which kind of reignite your memory.
So most of this. So this is just sort of, this is about 1/3 of a box, like an 80-litre tub. So it's only highlights, it's not everything. We have thousands of unlisted items. So if you're interested in these videos, we can do them again.
Just to clarify, that's not a brag, that's actually bloody annoying.
Oh, no, it's not good.
I wish it was all online right now.
But most of this was either purchased in larger bundles and we picked the cream of the crop and listed that first. Bear in mind, this is when we had retail shops, we were doing other things, so it was like time management issue. Or stuff that maybe needed a wash, simply, and we just put it to the side because we didn't have time to process it at that time, or just things like that. Something, you know, just things that get put to the side for one reason or another, right?
I was going to say, and you've got to remember as well, whereas maybe if you're kind of thinking from a kind of just a resale or reseller's point of view, we have to remember as well, with all due respect, is what if someone were to bring kind of like we had suitcases, people bringing in suitcases of their old stuff or their partner stuff or whatever it might be, or just that they were trying to sell, which they bought themselves to resell and wanted to kind of just get rid of as a job lot. But from our point of view, whether that could one got on the shop floor as it was, which was very few and far between pieces, maybe just need a basic wash, or like you said, alterations or whatever. Two, season. So, for example, as much as on our eBay store and when we sell online, we totally disagree with seasons. In as much as I will have bikinis in December and I will have winter stuff in August. By the same token, in a store, when people are actually physically shopping, that's a little bit different. And that's why, for example, you'll find very few bikinis, if at all, in stores in December.
Although it really annoys me because they're just getting bikinis in now.
It's too late.
Because it's pre-summer. But then when you get to summer, you cannot find one anywhere.
But even if you don't think about kind of like December and stuff, if people are going away that early, what I'm saying is people now are going away a lot earlier in the year because for a lot of people, like going to July, August, maybe it doesn't fit into their summer. You know what I mean?
Family are away now.
There you go.
Or just about to go away.
Anyway, let's go.
First up is this label. I give you 1 second to tell me what this label is.
Acne Studios.
I was giving them actually a second, I think. So this is an Acne Studios tag. When you see this, well, actually it says Acne Studios. That's stupid, isn't it? But it's very faint. When you see the black with the pink or colour, it's generally from this. I say collaboration, but it was basically a designer that designed for them.
Yes.
For a period of time. It was less of a collaboration and more of just
they did a lot. It wasn't like
they put their name on it.
Usually a certain amount of pieces, a certain amount of like I don't know, specific items then. For example, at the moment, I think it's dropping this week or next week. Maybe, Supreme are doing a Dr. Martens release. Ooh. And then we have 3 shoes. I think 4 shoes, which is quite random. Yeah.
Whereas they did lots of stuff.
Yeah, lots and lots of
collaborations. So I'm not going to pronounce it. I really am not. But Blacklonst. But I suggest this is pronounced, the A there with this O.
Blah.
Yeah, it's pronounced in a certain way. Anyway, so these are, and this doesn't really affect the price, this design.
It may as well just be Acne Studios kind of. It's new. It's obviously newer. These were, I think these were new without tags.
Yes, but they needed a wash. So the tags, so they've now been washed.
That's the other thing as well to remember, guys. Sometimes new with tags items, boring as it is, we've had to take off tags and kind of get rid of them based on the fact that they're new, but they've been touched or human beings have been...
Just because it's new with tags doesn't necessarily mean it's new with tags condition.
There you go, exactly.
If it's been stored incorrectly, whatever. These are just men's black jeans. They're a size 34, 32 leg. They're very standard. They're not a salvage or anything like that, but they're a classic staple piece of... wardrobe, a man's wardrobe.
But like, look at the quality.
And the quality of them is very high. These retail high. I'm going to list them for £150. The aim of this video is more brand knowledge and brand recognition than what we paid, because we paid it so long ago. Technically, these items are free to us because we've already absorbed the cost of the goods within the store, etc. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
However, you can, if you know the end price, then you can know how much you would gauge on picking that brand up, or if you want to look on Vinted or whatever. Yeah. So 150. This, like we just said, this tag doesn't necessarily add additional value, but some people prefer it over standard Acne Studios.
Once again, like Bethany said as well, guys, like, remember, this is we're not trying to be like too into £1,000 on this video necessarily, not that we don't usually, but this is specifically more brand knowledge, more kind of items that maybe, even if you do know the brand,
value and brand knowledge,
but also style, because this is once again is a brand you've probably heard of, but maybe the style you wouldn't be so
we don't pick up a lot of Calvin Klein unless it's like the big spell out vintage logo. Don't buy it new, personally. If this style, and I got a funny story about this trouser, I'm actually going to tell it. This style of trouser. Now, the reason
is this the I'm thinking of?
Mm-hmm, the reason these got put on the back burner is they were out for sale for a while. So they're low rise.
Can you want me to show them off?
They're low rise, like navy blue, but they're motorcycle trousers. So they've got all the embroidery to suggest they look like bikery. They're not padded or anything.
No, they're not. But they're supposed to be that kind of vibe.
But they're Calvin Klein, and Calvin Klein have many different strings to their bows, and because of that, they're, as a brand, they're a little bit what's the word, jumbly. They don't, there's no clear
Their
customer
aesthetic,
base.
it doesn't have a clear aesthetic as regards to brand.
No, but this style, this Y2K look, obviously is still riding high. So anything to pick this up. However, these trousers actually, they didn't sell in store. A lady tried them on, and in my personal opinion, they were a little bit too small. Only because they are so low rise.
Yep.
And that wasn't the style she was looking for. Anyway, she had them on in the shop, and then she had a shop in the town, and she asked if she could wear them for a night to see if she liked them, and it was really awkward.
What do you say? Like, I know at this point in the screen you're shouting no, 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 but it's someone one we knew. It was someone too who had bought from us before,
but they weren't the right fit, right?
I'm gonna spell it out for you, okay?
Yeah, okay, that's a bit much. Anyway, and then like she didn't return. She 3 weeks later she came back and said they didn't fit, and I was like, it's been 3 weeks. What have you done with them? I'm like so confused. Anyway, so we've washed them
like a bit of a.
We washed them like 74 times. They just sort of got like a mental stain. However, they
weren't physically stained. Just to clarify, there was no physical stain.
They should still go for £60 to £80. Just based really on style alone and age
I didn't really talk about the fabric either. It's kind of like a
nylon-y.
It's like a canvas nylon. Like if you can see, it's kind of fibrous. So yeah.
More jeans. Can you tell I didn't used to like listing trousers? I really hated listing trousers. It was like my big thing. These are Prada. So these are women's low rise again. You can see. So eBay do sometimes ask for. No, they always ask for it. The measurement. If they're mid rise, high rise, low rise, but you can normally make an educated decision just between the gap of the crotch and the hip, if that makes sense.
I mean, if it's this big, you know that they're very high.
These are actually really nice because they've got the handbag zip on. That's the same zip pull they use for the handbags, which I think is quite nice. And these are like a light blue distressed jean. They're straight leg.
Logo, that's really nice.
Oh yeah, they got a nice logo on the back here.
It's like it's kind of like, what do you call that? Like not ghosted, but like
it's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
However, the one issue with these and why they were avoided selling is they're stained. They're marked here. Now this is a good example of the fact that regardless of that mark, they're a distressed jean anyway.
You need to hold them up in general so you can see them.
There's still huge value in them just because of the name.
Like this was kind of originally there. I don't know if the camera picks that. This here. Like it's kind of like you say, it's distressed. They're distressed. No, but they're distressed all around. I'm saying like this.
If you're also going for that look of like the Carhartt distress thing,
I'll throw them on because I'm just that person. But like you say, this whatever it is, where is it?
I'm going to list them a bit. I'm actually going to list them in. I know for us this is crazy, but a quite generous manner.
Yeah.
I'm going to list them at 80 to 100.
And most people would be like, they're stained jeans for 80 to 100. So just to give you an idea, these would be up to like, I don't know, maybe 250, 225.
Yeah.
If they weren't stained.
Yeah.
And what I would do, to be honest, if for me, like you see this kind of like wear, which once again has been done by Prada, obviously. Or maybe not obviously to some people.
I've listed them as distressed.
I would actually just scuff this up with sandpaper. This
crazy,
like a crazy sandpaper. Scuff it up, and honestly, first of all, that would disappear. But also, it adds a little bit of character to a jean which already has some distress in. Yeah. So it's an easy fix.
So what I'm saying is, don't be afraid to pick up things with damage, holes, anything like that.
As long as you're paying minimum,
and it fits the style. They were in a massive bundle. I remember paying under £1 for those.
I think it was about £1 we paid.
They were with these.
Yeah.
They were with these trousers.
Yeah. And these are amazing.
So these haven't been listed just because they needed a wash. They've had a wash and they're perfect now. So these are Orlebar Brown. Bought this in a lot with a load of the Bulldog swim shorts and other jeans. These are like jogging pants, like
they look like
lounge
kind of
pants.
Yeah, they look almost like slacks. They're cuffed joggers, and they're not like cuffed as in kind of like
denim
Nike.
look, aren't they?
But they're very smart. Like you can get away with these for sure. Apart from the cuff, the details, the fact it's got a zip fly as well. Obviously, and these are once again they're just heavy reverse weave cotton.
I'm gonna list these 80 to 100.
Like for a pair of what is technically joggers, that's great. I would say this is kind of like leisure wear, or as people from the States like to call it, leisure wear.
Cruisy wear.
Yeah.
Right, this is a lower end brand, but I thought I would include them just because the pattern's nice. So this is Pilcro and the letterpress. Once again,
I love that name.
These were cream, they were in storage, they just needed a wash. Sometimes things just need a wash, guys. You'll recognise the inner label because they like embroider out letterpress, which I think is quite nice actually. But these are like a little, these got like a paisley block print on them, but they're that motorcycle style again with the zips on the pockets and the zips on the legs.
Yep.
The price of these has gone up a little bit. So Anthropologie stopped this brand for a long time, and I think that's where people came known to it. And for a long time they were going for like 25, 30 quid. They've gone up a bit since then. I would aim higher at 50 to 60. Retail on them is about 150 to, they're quite expensive.
They're expensive jeans.
But they have an interest in them. I like picking up that brand when there's something interesting about them. We have some kids' clothes in here. Do you want to see the kids' clothes? I'm doing the kids' clothes for branding.
Yeah, cool.
I think it's interesting.
Also, sorry, go on.
There's massive money in kids' designer clothes.
Once again, listen, if you originally paid a lot of money for them, or someone has paid, not you necessarily, but if someone's paid a lot of money for them, like, I don't see why people wouldn't understand the correlation to them having some kind of resale value.
Yes.
And they are.
So this is Karl Lagerfeld. This is just like a size 6 girl's dress with pockets. And it's obviously got hashtag Look Karl on it. This year's theme for the Met Gala is Karl Lagerfeld, A History Through Chanel. Karl Lagerfeld is going to sell well this year. I don't particularly rate his name brand, his namesake brand. Now, well, the vintage stuff sells very well, but this era, so the new stuff that he does with all like the cartoons on it and things, it's a lower quality, it's a lower price point.
It was a kind of money grab, to be quite frank.
Doesn't sell
harsh but true.
well. But
it looks like I've got like an inset t-shirt, like a baseball shirt, if you look in the camera.
Oh yeah. But this is quite simple. It's quite, what's the word?
Not basic.
Wearable.
Yeah, it is.
It's not
like although it looks like a kind of a dress, it has pockets, for example. I don't know if the pan camera will pick it up. Has pockets. It could be worn for like even if you the little person was a little bit older than that, it could be worn with tights or something like that. It doesn't have to be necessarily just a dress.
This would go for about 30 to 35. Retail would have been 3 figures. Just touching 3 figures. This is another technically high street brand, but sort of what I would suggest is a very high end high street brand. Folk, everyone knows Folk. A lot of people say, what do you say? Folk. I say folk. A lot of people say folk. No.
They don't say anything like that. They say folk.
No, what do they say? What's the other word
folk?
people? Yeah, it's something like, it's an
folk.
accent.
It's folk.
Anyway, this is a structured like cream white top with a curved hem. This is really nice.
It's so nice, but do you know my issue is? It always looks so much better. Like it always looks like if we have photos of like the stock photos, it looks so much nicer on. And I say why is the body heat, all these creases here, the body heat like just gets rid of those, and it looks kind of like one sheet. Whereas when you hold it like this, it looks almost like a sheet of paper.
I'm gonna go a bit higher on this. I'm gonna go 45-50 on it, just because I think it's an exceptional piece from the brand. It's not just a t-shirt or a jumper.
Like once again, the actual fabric is crazy thick. I mean, once again, I know you can't tell that from the camera.
We actually got this in a charity shop, and our favourite charity shop in the world was doing a £2. They were doing a renovation, so they put everything up for £2.50.
Yeah,
£2.50.
It was actually.
Next up is, I'll do that in a minute.
Oh, I'll do that one.
This one. This is kids as well, but.
Well, this is, it is. You're right.
I think it could be worn by an extra small woman, size 6 to 8. It's a cropped denim Burberry jacket with a Nova check inside lining.
So there's the number. I think it says 12.
12, yeah.
It's supposed to be 12 years old. The thing I would say about this is unbuttoned would easily fit a size extra small or small maybe.
And cropped, yeah. No, someone came and tried this on in store when we had it in store, and it fit them fine. And they were 18. But they were extra small, I think.
It has a Nova check collar too, which is kind of really nice.
Most of the kids stuff as well is made by this company, CWF, Children Worldwide Fashion. So if you see that label in kids wear Burberry, then it's completely fine.
Or if you see that label in general, you know it's kids wear.
Yep. So I would market this. I would still put it down as kids wear because technically it is, but I would actually put in the description, etc., that could be worn by an extra small woman. On this pure occasion, I put measurements in, and that you can also list children's wear on Vestiaire.
You probably won't get it, but even on these buttons, for what is technically for something for a 12-year-old, for what this would have cost retail, all the buttons are stamped. Don't think like. In many ways, people are kind of like, it's lesser quality. No. It's never like lesser quality. It's still very expensive and still very nice.
110 to 120.
Yeah, I like that. I also like the fact, I like anything which is Nova check, which is, I like anything which is Nova check, which is cream or beige, because I always think it's that kind of original Burberry kind of colouring.
This is equipment. I love equipment. I know some people don't get on with it. It's extra small, but it's quite big, extra small. Now, I'm going to tell you a funny story about this. It's not a story at all. We put this in a box because it needed debobbling, and at the time, we didn't have a debobbler. So it didn't get
This
done.
is like, yeah, from like years and years and years and years ago. Like
So,
this, how long ago we've had this item?
I paid £5 for this at a car boot sale. It's 100% cashmere.
And it's really, like, to be honest, apart from the debob, which it's had now, like, it's clean. Like, clean.
Yeah, so it's had a debobble now. This will be listed for £150.
And you know what? There's silk shirts. We've sold a lot of recently. We sell equipment well, but cashmere, you can't keep it in, can you? As long as it's decent price and it's no holes.
I think we're going to talk about it in a video where we're going to talk about our life feelings at the moment. But it's just funny because I'm watching us go through this stuff and it's very casual and normal to us. And I know someone's going to comment and say, that's your death pile. Like, I dream of that, having that as a death pile. And which I totally understand. I think it's because we put a lot of charity shop content out, and we are going to talk about this in depth. And we can only go by what brands we find and what brands we pick up. But what brands we stock and what brands we're sitting on is completely different. Yeah, and it's like having a different life.
I've said before on multiple videos, before we start this one, I've said before on multiple videos, and we will get into this properly, I think, because it's an interesting topic. But I think sometimes we do come across, as I know we're luxury pickers, and I know you see a lot of luxury on this channel, but you also see a lot of like regular branded stuff, or like high-end high street. And not that we have any issue with that, or we don't want to stock that, or we don't want to sell that. That's great. It makes great money.
We sell it to fund this.
That's exactly what we do. But by the same token, I also think sometimes, if, for example, the day's picking, like you know how it is when you go picking, if you only grab a few pieces of whistles, or you put some mint velvet or some toast, and those brands are all great, they're great, they sell, right? But from our point of view, we really this is what we do every day. Even if we don't go and get in the charity shop, it's stuff we're either buying online or it's buying from our customers.
And we're weighing up at the moment whether we're going to show more of actually the stuff you don't see from us, and whether you're interested in that. And that's a really important thing, is whether people... The reason we didn't go in full force with it is because we didn't know if people...
Well, we didn't know the reaction we were going to get,
with like so much like luxury stuff.
Exactly.
And,
it can become a little bit kind of like... I don't know, it's hard to
explain.
Bubble. Yeah, and
anyway, we're going to do a video on it.
Yeah, we will.
This is Burberry London. This is early to mid 2000s label, so slightly newer. It's got the
same year as that, actually, that denim jacket.
Novacek full lining, and I know this sounds really funny, but some people look for full lining because sometimes it's half lining.
Yeah, so like let me just show you. I know it sounds really stupid, right? But this goes to the hem. What happens a lot of the time is because people will pay for a Novacek Burberry coat. What happen is, most of the time, people only see this when it's hung. So by here inside, we'll stop. And this will just be literally a piece, like you see, a fabric there. So these jackets are like the ones you want.
Yeah, and then also this one is undercollared. So you can stick your collar up and be really fancy. Yep, see, there we go. So this is a men's size 50 or men's size large.
Is it actually?
Yeah. All the Burberry Macs we have here do have like what I would consider condition issues, in terms of they're not mint.
Yes.
They're worn. They're like used garments.
Well, they're pre-owned.
But we should still get to, you see?
No, see, why? Every time I put on a Burberry Mac, right? I wanted a Burberry Mac, right? I was just going to say, I wanted a Burberry Mac for like a gazillion years, right? Why do I look like I'm about to flash everyone?
You look really dodgy.
Like,
honestly.
One time I had an amazing Aquascutum, Aquascutum Mac, which was like my favourite Mac ever. I bought it, yeah, fine, cool, let's get it. The first time I wore it, I won't tell you what Bethany said, but if I had been the person that Bethany was pretending me to be, I would have been arrested very shortly, and it wasn't fair. But I look like that. I look terrible.
This looked terrible also.
I'm not a Mac man.
But men's size large obviously is a very good size. It's a very fast seller. £200 in condition it is in. We actually paid...
It's also non-belted, by the way. Something to mention, that the Burberry Macs are not all made equally. This is more of like a long trench.
They do trench and Macs and overcoats and all different versions. £200. We actually paid 10 for this one, £12.50 for this one.
You say this one. What do we have there, Bethany?
Another one. I'll show you in a minute.
Okay, I was going to just feed it through, but no, you don't want to do that.
I got this on Vinted about 3 years ago.
Show the dress first before you show the label.
This is called... Oh, you show it. This is called the Cocoon Dress. It's from an ad campaign from the early 2000s.
So it actually looks like it kind of like...
I think everyone's going to think it's Izzy Miyake. It's not.
If you did though, 10 out of 10, because that would be very likely that it would be.
It looks from it's from the Pleats
collection. Look at this as well though. Look at this arm.
Yeah, the arms are curved. Now this has condition issues, and the reason it hasn't been listed is because it does have some, I would say, watermarks. It needs to be
It's only sitting right as well, isn't it? Here, maybe?
Somewhere.
Yep.
There's one there. It needs to be professionally dry cleaned. And when I say it needs to be professionally dry cleaned, it needs to go to a specialist cleaner. We have taken it to a dry cleaner and it's still in this condition. No. So a lot of people don't want to mess with it because of the pleats.
It's also,
because if you heavy steam that or whatever, the pleats are going to drop out.
Also, the pleats are totally like
knitted in, aren't they?
What do you call it? It's woven, so it's not. When you see it like that, it looks thick. It's not. It's because the back layer is thick.
I paid £8 all in when Vinted were doing their like free postage for a while. Do you remember those days?
I mean, as well.
Lockdown. I thought it was in lockdown.
This was actually what I did a little bit before kind of Balenciaga rose to fame, and then at the moment, obviously, everyone knows, maybe not so much.
Controversially, but still, there is still a market for specialist items, and there's still a market for all of it. Some people don't care, but that's not saying we care. But I'm saying that some people are still buying the brand, and that is featured in an ad campaign in the early 2000s. If it was mint condition, 600 to 800. In the condition it's in now, 2.
Yeah,
because a professional. I'm talking a professional dry clean on that. I'm talking specialist cleaning.
It's going to be like spot cleaning.
It's going to be over 100 on spot cleaning.
100%. Yeah, like it'll cost you a lot to get it done. By the same token, if that you want to like the dress itself on,
or you could dye it.
It's really cool. Personally, I wouldn't, because I think the red is that era, like was that dress. I think in actual fact that if you put that into black, for example, or even like a darker colour, which you would obviously because it's marked, I think it takes away from the shape.
Yeah. This was actually Lil.
It was
tiny human.
She was so small.
Anyway, so this is a Burberry kilt. Burberry kilts. No, this is a pleated skirt, but these in kids size. This is kid size 6. Go for such good money. They go for 50 to 100 depending on which one you've got, whether you've got the leather straps, whether what colourway you've got, etc. so on and so forth. This is a size 6, but it fits a bit small. But I would still expect. I got this on Vinted for £5 in lockdown. I would expect that to get at least
Is that label again Bethany was talking about?
Yeah, let's see. 60 to 80.
The funny thing about this,
kids.
On kids, 60 to 80, think about that. And once again, I'll be honest, there will be lots of things online, on Vinted, on eBay, and all these different places, on Depop, for kids, which will be really expensive, but there'll also be older pieces which are really cheap, because maybe they're not sure they're authentic, maybe they just want to get rid of them, and maybe they want to sell them. So even if you want to pick something to sell, check that out. The other thing I was going to say was, a lot of the time, what a lot of people don't get, and it's very hard to maybe kind of show on camera, but eras for Novacek, the beige Novacek, which everyone knows, the house check, which is this colour, this was like end of the 90s, early 2000s. For example, the Mac we just had, which was, these aren't different colours. I'm going to tell you now, they're not different colours, which sounds mad. That's the same check, the exact same. They'll technically be the same coloured tone, but this is kind of like if you saw the era when Burberry went into the kind of, I want to say child phase, but like the football hooligans and stuff like that.
They changed
their hats with this colour.
Yeah, and this is
they
why
want this colour.
This is
the more vintage, older.
This is also why the theory that if it's pink or blue, it's not an overcheck is rubbish.
Like that's the same.
Because they changed the colour. They changed the colour themselves in the actual house check.
Yes.
Over the years. Right.
I think this might be even different again. Yeah, it might be.
This is
a different era too.
This is ladies' 90s label.
Yeah,
that's the older. I think it's a slightly different colour.
Yeah, it is. Look, not crazy. I don't know if the camera will pick it up.
Oh, avalanche.
Avalanche. This, I don't think it does. This is slightly darker than this. There you go.
90s label. This is a ladies'. The way you can indicate size, and a lot of people are surprised by this, is these labels. They do actually do them on newer ones as well, not the brand new ones. But it will say name, and it says 14 long. So 14 is the size. You can't really see. 14 is the size. Long is the length. And then M382 is the model number, so they're varied depending on what coat it is, and then the order number is whether it was made custom, whether it was made for a store. It's not really relevant at all. This is another A-line trench coat. It's not got a belt.
If you also have, this is once again, this is like slightly newer, or maybe slightly newer, yeah it is. Some of the older ones with this same logo, they'll have long blue pullouts.
You can tell it's on you can tell it's on the cusp. Some have have the old label, but it says Burberry.
Yeah.
So that was the crossover point.
So, but this as well, right? Sometimes you'll find a long one, which I joked about the other day, in here, in the pocket, and this will have these details on that as well. Yeah. So once again,
they vary.
There's not a one size fits all. However, it hasn't got that. It's wrong or it's fake. But
this is fun. This is fun. So hold it up. The suspense is killing you.
It's not. Yep.
Inside pockets.
Yep.
Like you can put your pocket. You can use it as an inside pocket or an outside pocket.
But it's because these are a lot of these were made as overcoats. So when you put your hands in your pockets, you could actually get to your main pockets or put your hands in your pockets whilst walking down the street or whatever else.
Some also have wall liners. I was talking to a lady about this the other day. I would separate them. I would sell them individually. You can get about $150 for a nice wall liner, and then you can get the same price for the trench coat. So you might as well make double. Because
some were made with the wool liners, and like for example, you've got a Novacek inside. There's nothing else in there, but the wool Novacek. You take that out, you're thinking to yourself, well, it's not technically so Burberry now without that.
Yeah.
By the same token, the cost you'll get for that coat on its own, the wool liners are really where you want to go. We had I want to say a red wool liner at one point, and it went for like massive money. So it was Novacek, but it was in red, massive money.
I just want to point this brand out.
Okay.
This is actually a rubbish garb. It's not rubbish. It's nice, but it's got a stain on it. I'm going to still sell it. I'm going to sell it for like
this
$5.
Is about brand stuff, so yeah.
Someone can do it. But this is a brand called LNDR. They did a collab with Jordan Dunn, the model.
Okay.
Right? They said it in Selfridges and all those fun stuff. It's not as great as like Varley or Aloe.
So this is like a athleisure brand.
It's an athleisure brand, but it's a great bread and butter brand. It's normally worn in a high-end manner in terms of they sell it in Selfridges and things like this. This would have been like a £60-70 vest. It's now 20 because there's like a slight mark on it.
It's just a plain vest.
But it's very like Sweaty Betty-esque, but like more streetwear. I don't know.
But for example, the logo you'll see that through there, but the logo on the back is 3M. And it's just very
Hue, but contemporary.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Anyway, I wanted to show you that. I would like to know in the comments down below if you find these helpful.
I know you guys will already be aware of Burberry, right?
Yeah,
I understand that.
But learning different things about different Burberry Macs and different styles, the children's wear, the Novacek, the different lines they've done. Maybe learning new brands like the gym wear brand or equipment, the Cashmere cardigan we picked up.
What we find hard at the moment is because obviously we can either go like uber high end with not with everything we do, but with some of the videos we talk on. And in the hope that sometimes it's found in the charity shops or the boot sales or whatever else, which there's a chance of. By the same token, I don't want to spend if I'm honest, I don't want to spend our time giving out all these brands, and it's like no one's ever going to find them in a million years. Like I could do a whole video on Hermes, and apart from a tie or a scarf, I'll be honest, very few people not because you can't, but because it's just not there. People are aware of it.
Sarah resells fans a tie.
She did indeed, very nice tie actually.
We've never found a tie.
We have
people, not a good price.
Loads of people which follow us have messed with Hermes pieces, but their ties, their scarves, they're kind of what I call, they're their core pieces. That's what they sell most of. They're not. They're some of their most well-known pieces, and the reason they're some of their well-known pieces is because they're some of their cheapest pieces. Yeah. You can buy a brand new tie from Hermes for maybe £150, and I know that's a massive money for a
Twillies.
tie. What?
Twillies, like
Twillies
the
like
£80.
And they can go to about £400 or £500. But what I'm saying is, and that's a lot for a tie or a twilly. A twilly is what goes around the handle of your handbag, it's like a scarf. But what I'm saying is, it's pointless me showing you the difference between one of their cashmere jumpers and their wool blend coats when those are like £6-7 grand. And to be honest, if you do find one.
However, we have boxes and boxes and boxes of this type of thing. So if you're interested in seeing these videos, then please do comment down below. We have hard goods, we have shoes, we have handbags.
Yeah.
We have more of this. We have men's exclusively. We have children's boxes. We've got a lot. So if you're interested in this sort of video that isn't necessarily what we pick up in a charity shop, but will help you maybe pick up in a charity shop, then please do let us know, because we're trying to work out where we're going to do a video on it. We're trying to work out our positioning
in what we're doing,
our journey.
Yeah. So I tell you what, we might actually just double head it and do this one now, And in a few hours later, we'll actually upload the second piece, which will be what us talking about where we're going to do, what we're going to do, what we think we're going to do, and kind of our journey up until this point and our journey going forward. How about that?
Yeah, and you can come chat to us, okay?
Right, let's switch off. Let's go to the next video.
Love you, bye.
Bye.